Let's do a show. That's working. That's working. Miracles of modern technology are all working. My voice is gonna be working in weird ways today. Hi! Welcome to the show. We are back and flu free and better than ever. And we are gonna build some stuff. We're gonna build some role-playing games on Salesforce because we can. 10 episodes in, we definitely can. I'm Tom. Welcome. Happy New Year. Where are we at? We gotta get some screens going. You guys like background music? We should try that. Let's see. How do we do that? I gotta get rid of these. First things first. Oh, take that away. There should be some stuff on here, but there is not. Let's figure out why and how to make this work. We need some browsers. No, we don't want browser. We want screen. Screen capture. VS Code. Want to see some code, right? Want to see some code. Window? How about that? Well, that looks right. Almost right. Let's see here. No, that's the wrong one. That's not right. Let's fix. Here we go. That looks better. Does this work? Aha. Okay, now we're cooking with gas, people. Ooh. Look at that. Embedded mojo. How do I get you in there better? That's not right. Is that that? Let's see. Let's lock all these other ones. Nope, we're not. I have no idea what that is. Oh, that's the title screen. We don't want to mess with that. We want to mess with this one. There we go. There we go. All right. There's some code. Well, there's some release notes, apparently. What else do we want? Probably our org, right? Let's get our org up. And that's going to go over here. Can I do this again? Clean my Mac. That is not what we want. We want home Salesforce. Hey. Look at this. It's like I've done this before. Put that over there. Something like that. All right. Hey, now welcome to the show. Now we can get busy, do some work here. Our last episode, episode 9, I probably should bring GitHub up too, I guess, but what did we do last episode? It's been so long. Well, let's check the history. see what changed between our last 2 pull requests, right? That's probably a good place to start. One more screen. I promise we're actually going to get productive here. Episode 9. There we go. And there's our GitHub. What did we change in episode 9? Well, we moved a lot of stuff into the GitHub project functionality because I got tired of storing all the bugs and fixes in the README file. I just realized we pushed some stuff back into the repo at the end of I did it this morning before the new episode, and probably didn't resolve all the issues that they were associated with, but that's okay. What else has changed? We added, let's see, layouts, flex pages. I'm sure we did some new, some flow work. We were working on quest step, right? We were trying to, we needed to figure out how to design, allow us to be able to design steps. I think that's where we kind of left off. And we had some, let's see, we did some work in our data, our diagrams here too. Yeah, quest step, something between step and quest. Well, can't see that. Hold on. If I do this, does it work? Change user. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, I'll put this in another one. Let's see here one more time. There we go. All right, here's our diagram. We were living... Can I hide that? Cool. We were living over here last episode. We had quest, we had step, and then we needed a way to basically indicate what kind of steps were valid for our quest. So let's jump in and take a look and see what that looks like right now. So here's quest step. Sits between quest and step. Probability is what we were going to use to indicate how likely that type of step would occur in our quest. Because we were talking about flaming volcano of fire. That's a quest that we have in our game. It probably makes sense to have 2 different kinds of step, I'll say step types, but steps. If you're doing the Flaming Volcano of Fire quest, you might be on a volcano step. Maybe we call it lava. I don't know. And you might be on a cave step because, you're in a volcano, it's cave-like, it's volcano-like. How do we want to break that down within that quest? Well, I'd like the odds of a volcano step to be 75%. I'd like the odds of a cave step to be 25%. So probably, hypothetically, if I was playing the game and going through the volcano quest, and it was 10, let's say it was a good number, 10 steps. 7 or 8 of them will be volcano, and 2 or 3 of them will be cave. I don't know if that's going to work out perfectly, but let's go with those odds, and we'll see how it rolls. Because we don't actually, if you're thinking way back into the engine here, it does not generate the new step in your quest until the current one is done. So it's going to re-roll essentially each time that happens. So we've got that. So now let's get back to work. This is where I got to shake the New Year's flu cobwebs off, because last week definitely didn't happen, because it was that flu was a doozy. Get your flu shots, kids. Wow. That was no fun. But glad to be back. Very glad to be back, because it's indicative of being able to, think straight, which I'm still trying to. I don't know if I ever really thought straight, but we'll give it a shot. All right, there's our org. Here's our meta. Let's take a look and see where we're at right now. So, quest step. We got that built out. What else are we going to need for this to work? Obviously, our game engine doesn't take any of this into account right now. So we probably should, let's set up some data, I think, because this is like definition kind of data. Go into our app here. Quests. Did this drop stuff out into the... Oh, it did. Okay, so in our Dark Cave of Darkness, we did set up a quest step. And 100% cave all the time. That makes sense, right? It's called the Dark Cave of Darkness. It would make sense that every step would be cave-like. So, easy mode here. If we go take a look at our... Do we have another quest? Flaming Volcano of Fire. No quest steps here. And no game quests, because I don't think we've gotten that far in any of our actual games. So we don't see anything here. So based on the example here, let's go 75-25 on the steps. Let's make sure we have some steps. We do. There's probably a lot more to do with these steps. I think we can associate them to monsters. I mean, what kind of monsters are valid for what kind of steps? Maybe they could influence, I don't know, luck, accuracy, something like that. Like, hey, it's hard to swing a sword in a volcano because it's hot. I don't know. Or it's hard to move in a swamp because it's swampy. Stuff like that. But for now, let's do easy mode here a little bit, and let's just get our let's get these associated. So back to quest. Flaming Volcano. All right, I'm going to add a new quest step here. So we're going to have volcanoes 75% of the time. We're going to have caves 25% of the time. Not a lot of validation right now. We're just going to hope that our humans who set things up will make that be 100%. It's okay. It's probably okay if it's not. I think the way we're going to process this will might not matter. But so now that we've got our two quests with some steps, let's see if we can. There's probably. Let's see. Let's go back to our. What am I going back to? Diagram. Boop. Let's go back to this. Okay, we do have the, let's see. We have the relationship here. There's no arrow. Oh, no. Okay, the game quest steps will now need to know what step they are. I don't know if we set that up. Let's check. Game quest step. Look up game. Nope, I don't think we have that yet. So we need a new lookup to step. All right, so this will associate, this will allow us to associate the step, kind of the definition of the step, with the game quest step, which is like an instance of a step in one of our quests. Seems really bright in here. What's going on? Exposure? I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't seem to matter. Let's try this. Oh, wrong way. Nope. Got to get my good side. That's a little better. I don't feel quite as washed out. So let's see, who do we need to grant access to this? Our permission set for just the game quest step itself. We don't want to mix and match here. Put on layout, sure. Standard naming convention. Very lengthy naming convention, but you know, it works. All right, so that's in place. So now our current game doesn't use this. So we may be making some breaking changes to the engine when we add this. Let's see what we got. We would need to, well, let's open up our flows. Now that we have this, we need to be able to populate that field, and we need to be able to run some percentages, odds, if you will. I sort of manually did this over here. But so we need to be able to run the odds for each of these steps in our game creation. So we do new game, we do new game quest, we do new game quest step. I think this is probably where we're going to be working today. Let's see. So in creating a step, right now it just gets created. There's a little bit of logic to see if we should create one. We only create one if what would be the current step, right, which is actually now the soon to be the previous step, was successful. Do we already have a new step? I don't want to create another one. So we're going to increment the sequence here. Then when we create, right now we have all the data coming in to create our new step. Somewhere in here, probably here, we need to determine which, what type of step are we gonna make this thing. So how do we do that? We need, well, we have our association here in our quest steps. So we need that. We need to go say, hey, quest, what steps are acceptable in you? And then it's going to give us these back, and we'll say thank you. And then we need to provide, let's see, what's the best way to do this? We're going to get, let's see, if we have a list of quest steps, if we had someone who could type, if we had a list of quest steps, and they have percentages, right? They have the probability. this is really how the math works, right? So time to pick a step for a game quest step. Random times probability. Random times probability equals a number. Random times this same, no, different random times the same probability. This is sort of a win-lose situation. So let's see, for a given set of quest steps having probability, return the winning step. We could do this in flow, but it sounds really loopy and a little Rube Goldbergian-y. So I might be inclined to write an invocable that would take these in, do our logic, and pass one back. I think that makes more sense. It's very easy when you just have one, right? One step assigned to a quest. It's probably manageable from a flow if I had two. If I were to have three or more, though, I think this starts to get probably nasty. Because it's sort of we kind of have to, it's tournament style, right? The first two, the winner goes against the next one, goes against the next one, goes against the next one. And that could be N number of times that happens. So if we can build it for two, we can build it for as many as we want, and then we can also support it just being there for one. So I think I'm talking myself into writing a invocable for this. What do you call that? Is there any generic way to approach this? Because what I'm ultimately doing is looking at, I need to use my randoms, which I already do have in other invocables. I need to, for a given list of records with a given probability, return the winner, right? So it's sort of, let's see, what would you call that? Time to get poetic. Where are you? Am I blind? I cannot see Apex class. Create Apex class. Here we go. Get get random let's say what about get collection item by probability invocable. Yes, get the record with the max probability. I like that. Yep. Let's see. I used get collection item for this last one, so let's go get collection item by probability invocable. Is that too many characters for an Apex class? Let's see. All right. Well, liked it there, so here's hoping. Let's shamelessly steal from one of our other invocables here because I'm lazy. This ship, that's going to have a very similar signature back and forth. We'll tweak some names here. All right. So this is usually how I set these up. I have a request object or class and a response class that comes in and out. And I think we're actually we're pretty close here. So if I want to make this generic, I'm going to say, here's my records. I can do generic list of S objects, will be our quest step objects coming in. And then I will, Well, we don't want the index in this one. I think what we want here is a string that is the probability field. Okay, so in our case, we're going to pass a list of listed quest steps, these here, and then I'm going to pass the field name probability into this. So that should give us everything we need to then do our kind of kooky math over here. All right, so that comes in. This is probably all good boilerplate. So now we need to. I think I probably want private static. Well, could we? I suppose we could just do this math, right? Whether I have 1 or 2 or 3, basically just do like a for each here. So maybe what we have is maybe we work with, let's say, maybe a map of, I could do ID and double. These would be the probability results. Honestly, we probably don't even need a map. I think we could just use a list. And yeah, we could probably just do a list of double. And then it'll just have the same index as the incoming records, right? So and then what's going back? Let's see, when we do random number invocable, what do we return? We return a decimal. Okay, so we actually want decimal, not double over here. I take that back. In our case, we want to return just a just a single record. So yes, records come in and one comes back. So we have the probability coming in, and then we're going to apply a random number to, let's see, do we use the same random number or do we use a different random number for each? So if Volcano's probability is 0.75, Cave's probability is 0.25, if I were to use the same, I need to have a way for Cave to win, right? So in this example down here, if Volcano rolls, if we process Volcano and we roll 0.19 for our random, and then Cave rolls and it rolls 0.61, we apply the probability multiplier to each of those, and if Cave can roll that high, it would win. So, but it takes a fairly high number for Cave to win under these conditions. So basically Volcano owns from 0 to 0.6, and then Cave can win with a higher number. Now, does that make sense? I guess is the question. It's really more of a probability seed, not necessarily the probability. What we could also do is look at it from, well, our probability number is, our random numbers between 0 and 1. Volcano owns all the space from 0 to 0.75 in that case. And then Cave owns 0.76 to 1 as its spaces, and then whatever we roll for our random would be the winner. So would that work? Because I think technically right here, like just looking at this, given the same sort of width, right, of our probability goes from 0 to 1, it's not really accurate, right? Because if I allow it to roll differently each time, then it's never gonna get there, right? Or it's never gonna be equal. Then how does that work with 3 of these? So we would need to know the width, right, of each numbers based on the probability. Let's see. So if I have 0.0 all the way to 1.0, because volcano is 75%, it can own from any number between 0 and 0.75 for a random would belong to volcano. Then if I look at cave, let's do this. We'll say from here to there is volcano's range. 7, say 0.76, but it's probably more like 0.7501. This is the space that cave. Oops. This is the addresses that cave will win. And if I had another one, then I would tack that on. So I think we have to do this sort of min-max space along the addresses for each number. So I think what we could do is really, let's see. We probably want to sort these by their probability so that we can stack them up on the sequentially on the number line. I guess by probability descending. So we could then say, all right, volcano 0 to 0.75, cave 0.76 to 1. If I had another one in here, let's just throw, what else would you find in a cave? Or what, say volcano, cave, magma. Sure. Let's say if magma had a different probability, right? Well, cave has a probability of, let's say 0.2 now, right? So it will own from 76 to 96. I don't know if this math is right, but we'll go with it. So it owns that space. Magma comes along and it owns 0.97 to 1 now. Again, I don't think the math is right, but if volcano's 75 and cave is 20, then magma is 5. Ish. My math is definitely wrong here, but get the idea. Let's see. Oh, hey Ganadish. We're building a role playing game on Salesforce, and right now our game is very like step based, almost like very sequential. So within the game, you have a quest, and a quest is like, a story basically. So our quest we're using as an example right now is called the Flaming Volcano of Fire, and there's a certain amount of steps that you have to go through to get through that quest. Every step, there's a chance to fight monsters and win treasures and stuff like that. But each step is also like a tile, right? So every step has a certain characteristic to it. So in our volcano quest, sometimes it's a volcano tile, sometimes it's a cave tile. And what we want to do is give the percentage chance, the probability of what those steps will be. So that's the math that we're trying to kind of figure out right now. We already have a random number generator in the engine that we can use. So the thought is I want to be able to say, hey, this step could be volcano tiles or cave tiles or magma tiles. That's, something we just made up. And there's an odds to each of those occurring in each step. So we're trying to figure out how do we play those odds, right? If volcano has a 75% chance of being the tile, when we roll our random number, we want it to, if it lands somewhere between 0 and 0.75, it wins. If our cave is 20%, if it rolls 76 to 96, it wins. And if our magma is whatever the remaining 5%, if it rolls between there, it wins. So now we're just trying to do some math. We're going to do this in an Apex invocable because this just feels complex for a flow or a subflow or something like that. All right, so what we need is the number line for each of those items. What's the best way to represent that? I almost feel like maybe this is a little data structure that is the record, the min and the max on the line. And then we roll and we pick the winner from there. So, yeah, does that make sense? Because we need to kind of, I think it'll be easiest if we say, well, if volcano is 0 to 0.75, min 0, max 0.75, cave is then 0.75 plus 1, right? Or 75 plus 1, which gets us to 95, right? Is that right? 75. Yeah, I guess we want to teeter a little bit more, right? So we maybe make these like 4 decimal points, because then we can go from like 0.7500 to 0.75001. So they're really close to each other. Okay, let's try that. Let's make a class. I'm just going to call it the odds. And this will be, it sounds like this will be the record that it represents. The decimal, the min, and then it'll have a max. Okay. All right, so let's create a list of odds. The odds. And then for S object record in request dot record. So we got to loop all over these and set up our data structure. Let's see. Let's make a new odds O. I'll be good about this. Odds equals new odds dot record equals record. So we're looping over. Odds dot min equals. So for our first one, this equals 0. And then odds dot max equals record dot probability. Now I have to make sure that that actually processes right. I think that's going to come in decimal. It's a percent field, so I think it comes in as a decimal. I think. All right, so that works for the first round. I think what we're going to need is probably want to track last odds. All right, so we can say if last odds is null. This is the first time through. Easy mode, right? We'll take each record, set the odds, or for the first record, take the odds, or set the odds as from 0 to the max. Now again, we're gonna sort these when we request them, and maybe that's something we actually want to do in this invocable. Maybe we don't want to rely on the data coming in the way that we need it to, but rather we sort the records the way that we want by probability descending. So that probably makes sense to make this all self-contained, to do that all in the same place. That's our first round. So now we'll say, let's see, else. So if I do have a last odds, and then what I definitely want to do at the end of all this is say last odds equals odds. And no matter what, I want to add, I'm going to change this from the odds to all odds. So let's add all odds, add the current odds that we're working, and then set our last odds. So when we loop through this again, we don't hit this condition, we hit our other condition. So the odds dot min equals last odds dot record, I'm sorry, last odds dot max, right? Plus, we think point, something like that, right? So that would go from, if I think about, all right, our volcano comes in, hits here. So this is volcano quest step, sorry. Volcano quest step here. I'm going to make an odds record because I want to put that in the collection. I don't have a last odds yet. It's the first one in. So the min odds are 0 here. And then the max odds are the probability, 0.75. Technically 0.750000, way out. Okay. Cool. We have generated that. We add it to our list of all the odds we're going to evaluate against, and then we set it as last odds. Go back again, next iteration, cave. Cave is coming in. Do we have last odds? Yes. So we're not doing this. We're down here. What's the min of cave? It's the max of volcano plus a little more. We're going to try to share the boundary lines close between these probabilities. So let's go down to a thousandth, 10,000th, 4 decimal places. We'll go with that. So now the address that, if volcano's address is 0 to 0.75, we'll say 0 to 0.7500, right? Then the address from our cave is 0.7501 to 1, all the way to the end. Now, how do we do 1? Well, we should be able to just say the max plus probability for the next line here. We'll have to see how that holds up with if we have 3 or 4 or 5 of these, right? So we'll write some tests and we'll see how this all plays. So odds.max equals record. Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually going to be odds.max equals last odds dot max plus record dot probability. Because if the last odds were 0.75 max and then we add 0.25 to this, then we should get our full spread of values. I think that makes sense. All right, so we do all that, and then we set up this. Now, what I wonder is in this in this code, can we just understand what boundary or what record we're dealing with and which one we need to return? We may not actually need the data structure of odds here, although it is helpful to be able to retain the last odds, in case it comes up. So I think we can actually determine if we're done in this process before we, instead of having to generate this data structure and then go back and evaluate, right? I think we just want to get our random number from this. So I could just call math.random. Kind of want to call it through our invocable though, just to be repeatable. Let's see. When we call this, oh yeah, here's an example, right? So here's an example of calling our random number invocable. It's definitely more wordy than just calling math.random, but for the sake of reuse, let's use the code that we've written elsewhere here. So now I'm gonna use my get random number invocable, and my space is from 0 to 1, which is also what it's what math.random will return you. And we can see we're just kind of returning that specifically. We don't need to do it 100 times. We just need to do it once. All right, so we'll get that out. We'll execute with our one request, and then we'll say decimal the random equals outs the first out, which I think it's all decimals that this returns. Yep, just returns a list of decimals. So we're passing 1 in, so we should only get 1 back, and that would be the first one in the collection here. Okay, so there's our random number. So we know what our winner should be, right? So as we set this up, let's say our random number was 0.5. That means Volcano wins. So as I step through here and say, okay, first record in is Volcano, the min is 0, the max is 0.7. From here, we could say if the random is greater than or equal to odds.min and the random is less than or equal to odds.max, we have a winner. Winner. And we do something with that. So we probably want to have some kind of break. We would want to break out of this loop after we find that. Yeah, so we would break here, right? We'll do something with the winner. We would put that into our response. Our response is record, right? So equals record. And then we'd break out of that, and then we would add the response. So we're good there. This is junk. This is not what we need. All right. So if we didn't find our record, so let's say now the random number is 0.8. So we go through volcano. The min is 0 and the max is 0.75. Too low, so we don't doesn't fit this. So we don't break out, but we do save our stuff because we want to move to the next iteration. So now here comes cave. Cave's min is 0.75001. Cave's max is 1. Is 0.8 greater than the min? Yep. Is it less than or greater than equal to the min? Yep. Less than or equal to the max? Yep. We have a winner. Off we go. I think that works. Oh, but we also, let's see, we need to do something different with the references here, right? We need to say record.get probability, because these are generic, and we'll make that a decimal. That should work. Decimal, decimal. Save that, see how we did. Ooh, broke all kinds of stuff here. What did I miss? Request. Oh, we already have an R in here. So let's change this to request. And check our references here. This would be request. That might be it. That might be all we have to change around here. Oh, this will be odds.max. Okay. Hopefully that was it. Okay, unexpected token list. Oops, equals new list odds. And yep, same thing. Those are all lines. Probably broken there too because it doesn't know. Wait, illegal assignment from S object to list S object. Do we have? Oh, right, because odds just takes an S object, not a whole list. There we go. Cool. Updated a Lightning Web component too. I'm not sure what happened there. Hopefully nothing significant. But wasn't working on something and then forgot to update it. Okay, this should hypothetically work. Now let's write some tests for it because I'll believe it when I see it. Get collection item by probability. Okay. INV, yeah. Probably should have abbreviated with that in the first place for the rest of these, but that's okay. Okay, let's write some tests for this. Just going to start with a simple test here. What do we need? We need, well, we'll use our quest step right? We don't really care. The only thing we really care about is the probability, right? And then we want them. Oh, that's the other thing we wanted to do was sort our request records by probability descending, right? I haven't done a sort in a minute in Apex. I want to sort a list of objects by a field, essentially. So we probably should do a comparable interface. Definitely not just reading this on the side. yes, I am. Call sort wrapper dot sort. Okay. What are we looking at? This is what we're looking at. We are looking at geniuses steal, beggars borrow, something like that. All right, so we'll write a record record sorter. I don't know, something like that. I think I can put this in here. Private class sorter implements comparable, and then we so I think we need to implement compare to, right? I'm guessing. We want to pass in, let's see, what do we pass in here? Wrapper, compare to, compare opportunities based on the amount. So we want to pass in our once this is a list. Let's see, so is each one... Okay, so we're going to need a list of sorters. All right. Been a minute. Let's do this here. Actually, a little back. Let's move some things around here. So we'll handle our random number getting steps. We'll set up the data structure for our odds, and then we're going to sort. I'm going to call it sorted. Sorted records equals new list sorted. Excuse me. Sorted. All right, so each sorted needs we need to pass it we need a constructor here. I'm going to pass it the record. Pass it our S object. Okay. And then we need to store that record. All right, and then we're gonna say this dot record equals record in the constructor, if I'm following along correctly. And then we'll do a compare to in here. So this is where the work happens. So let's see. You pass in an object compare to, and then you turn that into a sorted. So let's see. compare, and then we're going to do sortedify the compare to, and then we're going to do, so we need to return a 1, a 0, or a -1, depending on the sorting that we need to do. Okay, so what's our test here? Integer out, so we'll default to 0 because we think they're equal. We're going to return, we'll assume they're equal by default. We're going to return out. If we probably need the field that we're using. Yeah, I think we need that field name. Sort field name, and we'll put that here. Sort field name. So we have the record and we have the field that we need to compare with. Okay, so if, and I think there's an assumption here, right? Like we have to be able to cast this, cast the field in question to a decimal. Like I don't know how else to be able to get around that. I don't think we could, well, if we got cute, right, we could probably do some kind of, evaluation of what is the data type of the field that we're comparing against and apply different logic to it. For right now, I'm just going to be a little bit lazy, and we'll use we'll assume it's a decimal. So if the decimal value of, so we use our source record, sort field name. So if our source record is greater than the compare record, right? This is, let's say this dot record here. This is going to be compare dot record dot get this dot sort field name. All right, so all right, so if the value, so let's think volcano, first record in, 0.75 is greater than 0.25. And what's also interesting here is like, do we have to tell it the direction? Because we want to sort descending. And I don't know exactly what that's gonna, I think we're gonna have to run it, test it, and figure out which direction our values need to go. We may need to pass like a direction, like an ascending or descending. And if we had it, I bet you it's just going to be a flip, right, of the 1 or the -1, depending on what you need to return. But let's start here. Okay, so let's say our first record is volcano 0.75 is greater than cave 0.25. So then we would return, or out equals 1, right? Else if flip that. Okay. All right, so there's a sorting class for us. And this is probably because of the dynamic fields, maybe it's a little more. Oh wait, enclosing methods, and okay, I think this has to be global. Oh, I see. I had a global. I don't know if it needs to be global, really. Oh, what did I break now? Oh, okay. We can just go public here. Yep. Hold on. I don't think you need to make your invocables global. If somebody knows better, let me know. There we go. Okay. Oh, now we got to go up here and do the sort. So we're going to take all of our records and add them to the sorted collection. So we will have to run this part twice. So I want to get that into the sorted records, and to do so, we need to add sorted takes the record and then takes our, we have our field coming in dynamically, right? Probability field, yeah. Forgot to make those dynamic in the first place. All right, we just need to sort, I think. Yep. Then we actually want to loop. We want to loop our sorted records, right? Okay, so we're going to sort, or we're going to loop through our sorted records. So what changes here? This is going to be sorted record dot record. Let's see. So we change over our references here because we want to loop over sorted records now. And sorted record dot record. We really could just call this sorted and sorteds, but it's all right. I think we're good. We're good. Need some tests. Okay. So let's write our first test here. So what we want is we need some quest steps, right? Oh, we need a list, right? We need a list of quest steps. I'm going to write this as if it's part of YCDRPG, but if I really wanted to break this out and make it more generic, we would probably need a different structure to support that. New, need to be more generic. Quest step. Okay, so let's I really only care about the probability in these. Okay, and so the because we're doing a random, we probably want some way to short circuit this to give it the random that we expect it to run. Let's see, how can we do that? We could just make a, let's see, can we make a, is it enough to just have a static decimal out here? I think we can do that. So that'll give us a spot to override, so we can actually control, you know, our test and make sure it's getting back what we would expect it to. All right, so we've got a couple in. This is our volcano and excuse me, our volcano and cave test, basically. This would be volcano, be cave. So then we want to create we need to create a request for this invocable. The records are quest steps. The probability field is probability. All right, and then I'm going to get something out here, so I'll just copy this. We're going to get a list of responses. Now I think I can say, because this is static, dot test random equals, let's go with 0.5, and then I'm going to execute on our requests. Oh, we can, yeah, we just have one request, so we'll create a list because it expects a list. Yep, and then what we really want to see is, I'm just going to do a debug for now because I'm still trying to figure out what am I going to assert with the sorting and all that fun stuff. Let's just do outs 0 record. Oops. Oh, I'm reusing, yeah. just realized we're episode 10, but the page says episode 9. Oops. Okay, there's that. Let's, I don't know why I can't seem to get my, I have the dev console open. I'm running a test because for some reason my tests take an eternity in Visual Studio in code, in VS Code. I don't know why. Okay, so it returned the volcano. It returned the probability. Can I put this on here? It returned, you're not going to be able to see that. Let's put it up here. Find a window. How about that? Cool. Dev console. Got it. I just asked it to debug the value, and it returned probability 0.75. So neat. Did what it said it would do. So now I think we want to retest with, so now I think we want to assert that, right, 0.75 is outs.record.probability. These don't have a name, to them, so we would expect, let's see, given random equals 0.5, expect 0.75 probability returned. Okay, and I'll go back and put some better names on these, but for now, test 2. So we would need something like 0.8, assuming all this is processing correctly. A 0.8, given a random of 0.8, we would expect our 0.25 to show up because it's, further away and lands in that 0.75 to 1 space. So let's make sure that one's working too. Sorry, I'm doing this all behind the scenes of the debugger or the dev console because I just want to leave it up to be seen here. Make it a little smaller. Hopefully that's not completely illegible. Oh, wait. Variable does not exist. Oh, wait. Record dot. Sorry. Generic. Generic. Did I do that right? So many parentheses. Well, let's see. Save and find out. What's that thing? There we go. Wait, system.assert decimal is not happy with that? I'm sorry, what? Is that saying that system.assert doesn't accept? Oh, maybe I just need to, maybe it's okay leaving it as an object, I guess. Okay. Cool, let it figure it all out. Hopefully. I'm sorry, what? What are we doing here? We can't compare. Feeling lost. Why doesn't this... It doesn't matter if I cast this or not. It still fails? What? Expected, actual. Oh, wait. No, not R equal. Assert. Oh, assert. I'm sorry. Assert equals, right? Is that... Yeah, wait. Oops. Syntax, kids. Syntax. Now I may have to go back and cast that again. And there we go. Okay. So let's go back over to our dev console. And let's rerun this test. Tests now. So the first one should return our 0.75 and the second one should return our 0.25. Oh no. Womp womp. Test 1 is good, test 2 was not. Expected 0.25, actual 0.75. Okay, so I wonder, is it our sorting that maybe? So it could be, let's see. If our sort is ascending, it would make sense that the first one would still pass, because if our cave, which is 0.25, right, probability, 25% probability, went from 0 to 0.25, and then our volcano went from 0.25 to 1, we're still, a 0.5 puts the volcano in the right place. Now, the opposite would not be true. We're still getting volcano back. So I think our sort is ascending right now. So let's flip it. We'll flip these two. And that will become a descending sort. Which is what we want. We want our highest probability at the top to take over as much as it can, and then down from there. I think. We'll see. Probably wouldn't hurt to actually debug out the records that are as they're being evaluated to see what's really going on there. Okay, let's... we can rerun failed, I think. Let's just do a new run. May have broke both of them. Who knows? Oop, okay. Okay, so think we're good. These are our, right? These are our tests. Let me bring this up and just find the debugs in here. Did I? Oh, no. Those are assertions, not debugs. So they're in here somewhere. No, that's not helping me at all. All right, my assertions passed. I would love to see... Could we see how these are... Let's just output this. Just debug it real quick so we can kind of see how it's running in each of these. So that'll be the probability, and then let's do the random here too. My test is working, but I want to make sure my test is designed properly. All right, let's do that. Then we can just watch this get written out a little bit. Oops. Oh, wait. Sorry, sorted record. Okay. And rerun. Okay, so random. Hello, Clara Smith 96. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the random probability party. So this is our first test here, these two. So with a random... gotta say it all out, you know, gotta read it as it's written. But we can call you Clara. That sounds good to me. All right, so this is our first test because we got our, let's see. Our test random is 0.5, and that's there. And then our winning output should be 0.75, which, given that it, well, thank you. Awesome. I am the lucky. All right. So this is our first test here because we passed it 0.5 and we got back 0.75 as we expected. And then for our second one, we passed it 0.8 and it passed on the 0.75, which is what we wanted. Ran it again and got the probability 0.25. So I think we're good. Now I'd like to, no, I want to test with 3 of them, I think. Meaning of the Twitch name. Yes, so YCDTOSF is an acronym for You Can't Do That on Salesforce. And my whole shtick is we build stuff with the Salesforce platform that probably doesn't belong on the Salesforce platform. And for the last, 10 episodes, we've been building we've been building a role-playing game with Salesforce. And right now we're trying to do we have a couple of features that need some random generation, but we want it to kind of favor things based on probability. So definitely not a business app for Salesforce, but I don't know. It amuses me, and hopefully it amuses other people. I don't know, maybe some people learn some stuff too along the way. We'll see. All right, so that was testing. That was our second test with a different number, and we did get back cave as we expected. Our sorter is now sorting descending. I think this is a parameter we want to pass here to say maybe direction. Or maybe that's well, we'll come back to that. I have to have philosophical conversations with myself about what to call that, actually. Do I do this as a job or a passion? So I run a Salesforce consultancy that we build actual useful apps for our customers. I do that by day. And this stream, though, is a little bit more of just a passion / distraction for me, a creative release. But all the stuff that we do here is it's legit. It just doesn't amount to anything. Certainly not something that our customers want. But I take a lot of what I learn a lot while I work out here with y'all, and take some of it back to projects eventually. So a little bit of both. But the stream itself is just me doing my thing. Yeah, it's hard to separate the two. I don't know about you, but there's something like strangely relaxing about like slinging code once in a while. It kind of helps whatever side of my brain that needs some structure and some certainty. Helps me out. Kind of the opposite of the chaos that goes on, during the day. Yes, very true. Very true. All right, let's add one more test to this because I want to see how this works with like a 3. I think if it works with 2 and works with 3, I'll feel pretty confident about how this is going. All right, so we'll take our, we have our volcano cave magma scenario, right? We'll adjust the odds here. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for Mr. Magma. I'll give him 0.05. This is coded, so I'm using VS Code. Salesforce Work is, they have their own programming language called Apex, which is basically Java, or it's kind of like a Java C# sort of syntax. Not as powerful as either language, but for all the stuff that you would want to build apps with on their platform, you use Apex. And then when I'm writing code locally, and whenever I save, it pushes it up to their platform. It's called Apex actually. It's close to. It looks a lot like Java or C#. A little more, not quite as hardcore as C or C++, which I haven't touched in like 30 years. No, 25. I got to give myself some credit with my age. I'm not that old yet. I'll be honest. The only languages I write in anymore is Apex for Salesforce, and you can write client side components in JavaScript, kind of standard web component stuff, but and they got their own flavor of that too. All right, let's see if see if we can get our magma scenario working here. So, all right, volcano 0 to 0.75, cave 0.75 to 0.95, magma 0.95 to 1. So if we gave it a 0.97, we should fall into the boundary of magma. Let's see, given random 0.97, expect 0.05 for probability returned. A long time, yeah. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. I keep my hair short on the sides, so y'all can't see the gray. Also, what is going on with the it is very bright here. I'm trying to get the white balance. It doesn't wanna. Let's try that. Whew. Nope, a little too much. Yeah, let's do that. It's funny, the sun keeps getting. As the sun keeps coming out, it gets even brighter in here. Who would think? All right, so this should return our magma scenario, if all is well. Sorting descending, and 0.97 should fall in the boundary for magma. So we'll see how we do here. Back to the test runner. Let's do a whole new run for our 3. Drum roll. Yay! It all worked. Test 3 is good. Let's look at our logs. All right, first 2 lines are test 1. Second 4 lines are test 2. And last 6 lines are 97.75, 97.2, 97.05. I think it's working. Cool. Well, that only took 90 minutes. All right, that makes us happy. So I do want to figure out, I could make this ascending or descending, but for right now, we just need it descending. So we'll leave our sorter. As it's sorting. But if I had to, let's see, I want to pass in a parameter that tells the sorter whether it should be ascending or descending, and should that be? Maybe it should just be a Boolean, right? That says ascending. And if it's true, then we would flip these. Or what I would really do is just say, this is the sorting if it's ascending. And then if I said if ascending equals false, then I would say out equals out times -1, right? So that would flip it. Yeah, let's go with that. And then we could actually overload this with a there we go. And then in our case, we want to flip that back over to, how long have I been doing the stream of code? Oh man. I think it's going on 2 years. It's probably been 1.5 years. And I was super ambitious when I first started, and I got up to a mode of doing it 3 days a week for 2 hours at a time. That was not sustainable because life. So I scaled it back in the last fall, to do it just 1 day a week for 3 hours. And at first I had it Tuesday afternoons, and some people wrote me and were like, hey, I'd like to watch your show, but Tuesdays are tough. So I'm trying out Friday right now, obviously, because we're on. Try to go from 11 to 2 on Fridays. So Fridays are a little maybe a little more chill for people, or something they can put on in the background since they're wrapping up their weeks and stuff. So, yeah, but it's been a couple of years. Yeah, I guess. uh, I get a couple of people to show up. I super appreciate that that you swing by. Not a ton of folks each day, but it's always nice when people drop in, and all the streams get recorded and end up on YouTube too. So, like I said, it's kind of my distraction for the week, and I get to do some stuff that's creative. Oh, you do stream design stuff? Hmm. Cool. Yeah, mine are pretty basic. I haven't done a whole lot with them, but they seem okay. All right, so we are okay. That should I guess I should rerun these and make sure that they're doing good deal. Let's make sure these are still working right. Oh, okay. So maybe I broke. Oh, no, no, no. We didn't update our tests to tell it. Oh, wait, that's not in our test. That's in our, as we're setting up our sorting here. We want to tell it to be descending wherever you are. Yep, here. We're going to do new sorted, ascending equals false. There we go. I actually don't have Discord set up for the show right now. It's something I keep meaning to look into, but I haven't done much with it. Maybe next time, if I don't forget. All right, let's rerun this. So that failed. We expected it. Oh, we didn't expect it to fail, but it makes sense that it failed. Cool. All right, we're back. Okay, so we've got ourselves a... We've got our get collection item by probability invocable. And we are jamming with that. So we can call that, going all the way back to our flows here, we can call that from somewhere in here. What do we need? We need our game, we need our quest steps, right? So get game quest, get latest game quest step. Let's get our quest steps. I think, what do we have coming into on this? We have, we're pulling game quest ID. So we will know the quest, right? So we can get, let's get quest steps, because that's what we need to run this whole thing with. Quest step, and that is where quest equals, we can do this, game quest.quest. Give me all the records. I'm not going to worry about sorting it because I think we're good. Or our component will sort it for us. Or our invocable will sort it for us. So we get those here. And then we want to get... I think I'm going to have to... let's see. I got to save this, yeah, this is a new version. All right, so 04, 01, 12. This is going to be, what should we call this? This is selecting random quest step with probability. Let's go with that. Hey Igor, yeah, I used Restream. That's the tool that I found, and got to pay a little money for it, but I appreciate that it can send stuff in a couple different places at the same time. It's been pretty solid. I use it for some other projects too, and I recorded a weightlifting event last weekend, or streamed that, and use the same platform. So it's been good. It's been good. Yeah, Restream is. I'm sure there's others. There's probably a ton of them out there. Okay. All right. So we are. Let's see. Did I refresh this? Refresh this to make sure we got our. Restream might have a free tier. I can't remember. They might. I use the paid tier that lets you stream up to 8 places at once, but I I don't have. I got 3. I can't find 5 others that are worth streaming to. But there might be a free version that lets you stream to like maybe 2 at a time. They definitely want you to pay for it because they kind of limit your bandwidth and stuff like that. But it's been a pretty good tool. All right. This is refresh now. So before we create our new game quest or game step quest, we're going to use our invocable. Get collection item by probability. So let's say get quest step. And so our records are going to be we're going to pass in quest. I cannot type step. Yep. That's the object. And the output is also going to be a quest step. All right. Our probability field is called probability. And our records are our quest steps from get quest steps. And then we just want to use a record that comes back. I never tried StreamYard. I kind of started with OBS and then never really bothered to look around to see what else was out there. OBS always seemed to be pretty decent. Obviously, it's as good as the bandwidth as you've got to stream with. But what else did I try? Maybe not Vidyard. I did try one other tool, and it just wasn't as powerful as what OBS can do. Let me turn the dev console off so y'all can actually see what's going on out here. So what I did is I took our invocable that we just created, and I'm referencing it here. So we're making our call with we're querying out our quest steps that are relevant for the quest that's being played, and passing in our quest step records, basically using actual records from everything that we've designed here, and passing the probability, and we should get a record back. So from here, as I'm creating this, I should be able to, tell it the step, and that's going to be from here. Let's go with that. Okay. So now we have, if we run this now, if we test this out, the only problem is I've got, let's see, Dark Cave of Darkness, Flaming Volcano of Fire. Flaming Volcano of Fire is the one that has 2 different types on it, but it's not the first quest. Dark Cave of Darkness is the first quest. So we probably want to add, let's just add another quest step here. Let's go with forest. Let's use the same probability that we've been working with. Oops. And we'll edit our other one. So even though it's the Dark Cave of Darkness, you could end up in the forest. That gives us at least something testable there. I'm just gonna send it. Let's activate this and see how we do. Let's clear out all of our data too while we're at it. I have a couple of scripts for that. Actually, I had a script. I don't think it'll get rid of everything if I just wipe out game. Game relates to, let's take a look at our object manager and see. If I want to write a little cleanup script, we have a lot of master detail relationships, which will automatically clear stuff out, but not all of it. So let's piece this back together. So we got game somewhere. Where are you? Okay. Oh, there it is. So there's game, and then game relates to, it has a quest. 1 or more. The quests have steps. We have some multi-relational mojo going on. Game character, that is master detail. That should cascade. That should cascade. That should cascade. Okay, so maybe we're okay. Let's delete game, and we'll see if we have anything else out here that remains after we delete it. All right, so there goes our. Wait, did I actually run that? What happened? Delete select ID from game. Well, we should have no games, right? Oh, we have, that's it. Game quest step is, let's see, game quest step. Right. It's a lookup, not a master detail, and I have it bound to, you can't delete because it's related to other stuff. So what if we just get rid of our game quest steps first and then get rid of our games? That might be it. That might be the only occasion where we have anything. I think everything else would cascade. So, okay, let's start a new game. That's activated now. All right, new game flow coming up. New game name, G100, and we'll pick Thor, we'll pick Merlin, we'll pick Hermione, and we are done. Uh-oh. Broke it. You know what I bet? I bet it was poor user experience. Let's see this again. I think because I did not I use this little short circuit here to say I'm done adding characters, but I think I gotta... Nope. Okay. It's not that. So let's see, where are we blowing up? Field integrity. Create new game step. Oh, wait. This is the quest step. That's the wrong... That's also poorly worded. Let's open up new game quest step here. New game. I'm going to fix this name. New game quest step. Where does that exist already? Oh, I see. It's a decision name. Okay, that's not too confusing, but not terrible. All right, so this is actually not... We don't want the ID of the record here. I got to go back. Get quest step, record, step. That's what we're after. All right, let's reactivate that. And am I completely lost here? Probably. That was broken. Did we get a game out of that? No, because it didn't finish. The transaction didn't finish. Okay, let's do this again. Thor. Merlin. Hermione. We're done. Go. All right. What do we get? We got a game. 3 characters. First quest. 9 steps. First step. Is a cave step. So we made it this far. Cave makes sense, right? Because we... cave makes sense because we had either cave or forest. And it was 75% cave. Now, if we play this through a little bit, let's play. I'm going to need my game ID for that. Where'd you go? maybe next episode we build a little UI for actually finding the games to play, because this whole yeah, just go grab the ID. Getting bored. Gets. Oh, you know what? I think, in fact, I have this defaulted to a value. So I'm glad I remembered that, because that would definitely make me. That would make me curse. Yep. Let's fix that. Here we go. Do. It's taking a long time. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, debug. All right. Let's see. Merlin's turn. Merlin attacks Ghost. Hermione, Ghost. Thor attacks Goblin. We'll run this through a little bit. I want to see if we can get to another step and then see how it processes again. If we get, if we get forest or cave. Goblin's not doing so good. Oh, he's still alive. He's got one. Oh, ghost attack. Everybody's ganging up on Hermione. Okay. Goblin's got one. Thor, put it out of its misery. There we go. Down to a ghost. Take a look at our rounds here. I feel how many have we played? Four rounds, I think. Yep, we're 4 rounds in. Oops. Here we go. I have to get rid of this field. There's no reason to have it at the top. All right, Thor, finish the ghost. Okay. Now, very uneventful, but we actually are in a new step now. So we can, let's see. How did we do? Where'd it go? Let the data show us the way here. So this game quest step should be completed now. Success. Yep. Total monster hit points is just lets us know if there's any monsters left and if we need to keep playing the step. And let's go up to the quest. Cool, we have a new step. Cave again. So we haven't gotten ourselves a... this would probably show us what that maybe. Let's see. Let's open this up here. So random was 0.888. That's interesting. Oh. Oh, wait. That's interesting. The probability is 75. It should be 0.75, right? Ugh, I always mess this up. I think you have to make an adjustment in the you have to make an adjustment in your code when you're dealing with percent fields, I think. I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know if that's true. Unless did I put it in wrong to start? Let's go look at the data. Maybe it is in as like 7,500% or something. Quest. No, that looks right. But it doesn't make sense to me why I think this should be 0.75. If I rerun our test here, excuse me, let's rerun our test and see what numbers it returns. Yeah, see how the numbers are here? They make sense. And when we set up our test, that's what we're setting it to. So something ain't quite right. Let's query those out. Let's query out the quest steps, right? I just want to see what they look like when they come back from the quest step. See, I think they need to be, let's just try something here. If I change this from 25 to 0.25, right? Then let's look at this record. It's really interesting. I think you have to divide your percentages by 100 to get them right, because that doesn't seem correct. Whatever we were just looking at, that doesn't seem accurate. Yeah, Salesforce doesn't save percentage fields. No, it does not. You need to divide it by 100. Yeah. Always forget that. Okay. No worries. We just need to because these should actually be 75, 20, and 5, right? When in our test. And then we're going to pass it. Well, we can pass it the random, right? That's our value, that's our 0 to 100, but it's a little confusing for sure. Go back here to our probability. So we need to take, I guess the alternative would be to multiply our random by 100, right? And then, would that work? Let's try that. The random equals the random times 100. And then we need our tests to use the whole numbers that are actually so confusing. Okay. I think it will all work out. You know, we just need to change the random. Oh, wait. These assertions aren't going to work here, though, is all. All right, 0.5 is now 75. That's 25, and that's 5. Okay, let's see if this now works. Let's bring the console back up. And then let's rerun. Okay, still success, so that's good. And then okay, so I think we're good there. Let's see. Yep, 50. Yeah, so the percentiles still seem like they're in good shape. So okay. Let's see. If I were to, if I just delete that step, go in here. I think if we just delete this step, we can have it run again. If I go back and run, wait, is this new game? That's new game. We don't need that. Where's play game? Let's debug play game again. Wait. Let's see. Okay, so it seems like we might have a condition that doesn't successfully create a new step. Doesn't create a new step when I thought we had that in place, but that's okay. Well, we can, let's just wipe the whole thing, and then we can create a new game. Okay. New game. (101). Okay. Now find that game. Go back over to play here. Okay, save. And now it should, let's see, does it? Yep, there's 101. There's the quest. Here's our first step. Still cave. It's hard because the percentages, the odds are definitely in favor of a cave. We can run it, let's run it through once. No Hermione this time, I think. Does that make sense? I only picked two? I only picked two. Okay. Got some work to do on the on these descriptive UI pages or screens. We don't really need them. We just need to could probably indicate what's going on in the context of the page. Okay, now hold on. Did I? No, those values are right. Let's see. I just realized y'all aren't seeing that. Oh. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Query. Which ones are the newest ones? I should probably I got to get this back to 25 before the round ends because it's possible that it's still, a 0.25% chance rather than a 25% chance. All right, Merlin. Goblin is holding on for dear life. Okay, new round. Or new step. Still cave. So I think I want to kind of like maybe run a simulation, if you will, to make sure that we actually do get a different step instead of just hoping that we get a different step. The math, the unit test plays correctly, but the odds are not favoring just because we haven't seen something come through yet. So we'll have to test that out a little bit. All right. It's a little early, but I think we're going to wrap there because I got a couple things to finish up before the weekend back at the ranch. So this was good. I think we generally have our random step picker working, but needs a little. I need to run it at some scale and kind of see how it would behave in the circumstances, like under the conditions of actually creating a game. Probably I forget the percent. Percents are stored as whole numbers in Salesforce, not as their decimal counterpart, which is neat. So that's a thing. We changed it. We updated our invocable by adding to the random rather than dividing all the probability percentages. So that could be playing in here too. Although our unit tests are working fine, we're just not getting the data or we're not getting a hit on the cave versus the forest. So I'd like to see if I could, can the app truly give us a different option, or is it really just leaning toward one and only one value? And if that's the case, then something else is wrong. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. we'll call the show here and pick it up again next week. Get all the stuff into GitHub. I got to look at the tasks that are out there. It's probably some that need to be cleaned up. We'll pick up from here next week. And until then, I'm Tom, and you can't do that on Salesforce.